wanted to take a quick second to do the straight worm, jigworm rundown. And what I mean by that is you have your Comida, your Senko, whatever it might be, your straight plastic worm. A lot of anglers fish this wacky rig, a lot of ways to fish this bait. And I want to do a quick rundown on the all-terrain mighty head and how I'm fishing this bait, because there's multiple variations and we often don't think about this and why we're doing what we do. First and foremost, this is the brand new Mr. Twister Comida SI, salt infused. They're starting to put salt back into a lot of their baits. This is the salt infused Comida, falls faster, tastes a lot better to us and the fish. Just a great upgrade as well to the awesome Comida. So the salt infused, the Comida SI, make sure you check those out as they start to hit the shelves. So for starters, here's your mighty head, right? All-terrain mighty head, longer shank jig. That's what I like about a jigworm jig head versus a net head. And first of all, you can fish this just like this. Pretty simple. And I'm just using this color for the sake of the video. I think it shows better. I'm gonna fish this hole, right? So there's that's a jigworm, right? By basic definition, jigworm. And the reason you fish it whole is because it plummets fast, it gets down there quick. I might be fishing rock, offshore structure, deep weed lines, whatever it might be, pockets in the weeds. I wanna fish quick, I wanna fish effectively. I fish that hole. Now you have different weight jig heads too, right? So you can fish a 30-second, a 364, 330-second, an eighth, a quarter. You can do all kinds of weights of jig heads depending on the weight if you want that added weight. But there's your whole jigworm, right? Fish fast, fish effective, cover water quick, especially with the advent of forward-facing sonar. You're looking for fish schooling around, maybe on rocks or outside transitions. I can chuck this thing quick and get down there fast and make contact. An easy option with this same bait, right? So you start to feel like you need to be a little more, I don't know, a little more precise on how you're fishing. A smaller presentation, a little bit smaller morsel. They're nip hooking it. Maybe they're not taking the whole bait. Maybe you feel like you have to do something a little different to get them to bite or slow down. This is where I take this bait. I rip 1.5 inches, 2 inches off. I put her back on. Now you have yourself more of a smaller jigworm, right? Now you're approaching that Ned rig situation where a lot of times I've seen it, especially this last couple of weeks, they don't want that whole Comida. They want just 3 inches of it. So I shorten it up, a little smaller presentation on the bottom. Maybe it mimics a little bit of a smaller bait fish or prey that they're feeding on, and it's made a big difference some days to get more bites. So think about that progression where you start with the whole thing, maybe dial it down a notch to see what they want and fine tune that bite. That's that easy plastic stickworm, jigworm progression for getting more bass to bite in the summertime.